So we continue on with Claudio, and he says, "'Tis true indeed, your daughter says." "Shall I," says she, "that I have so oft encountered with him with scorn, write to him that I love him." Helps if I start at the very beginning of the row, wouldn't you say? Anyway, and Leonardo says, "This," says she, "now when she is beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night, and there will she sit in her smock till she hath writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all." And then Claudio says, "Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of." And Leonardo's like, "Oh, when she had writ it and was reading it over, she found Benedict and Beatrice between the sheet." That? And Claudio's like, "That?" And Leonardo is like, "Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence. Railed at herself, she would be so immodest to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him," says she, "by my own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ to me. Yea, though I love him, I should." And Claudio's like, he starts to ham it up a little bit, and he's like, "Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedict, God give me patience." And Leonardo's like, "She doth indeed." "My daughter says so, and the ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometimes afeard she will do desperate outrage to herself." 'Tis very true. So then Pedro adds, "It were good that Benedict knew of it by some other, if she will not discover it." And then Claudio's like, "To what end?" He would make but a sport of it, and torment the poor lady worse." And then Pedro adds, "And he should it were an alms to hang him. She's an excellent sweet lady. Out of all suspicion, she is virtuous." And Claudio adds that, "And she is exceedingly wise." And Pedro's like, "In everything but loving Benedict." And Leonardo's like, "Oh, my lord, wisdom and blood combating in so tender a body, we have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her. I have just cause, being her uncle and her guardian." And Pedro's like, "I would she had bestowed this dotage on me. I would have doffed all other respects and made her half myself. I pray tell Benedict of it, and hear what he will say." And Leonardo's like, "Were it good, think you?" And Claudio adds, "Hero thinks surely she will die, for she says she will die if he love her not. And she will die ere she make her love known. And she will die if she woo her rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness." Oh. And time to turn the page. So Pedro adds on to that, she doth well, if she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it. For the man, as you all know, hath a contemptible spirit. And Claudio's like, he is a very proper man. And Pedro concedes he hath indeed a good outward happiness. And Claudio adds, before God and in my mind, very wise. And Pedro's like, he doth indeed show some sparks that are languid. Oh my. And Claudio adds on that, and I take him to be valiant. And Pedro adds, as Hector, I assure you, in the managing of quarrels, you may say he is wise, for either he avoids them with great discretion, or undertakes them with a most Christian-like fear. And Leonardo's like, if he do fear God, a must necessarily keep peace. If he break the peace, he ought to enter into a quarrel with fear and trembling. And Pedro agrees and says, and so will he do, for the man doth fear God. However, it seems not in him by some large jests he will make, well, I am sorry for your niece, okay, let me read that line again. And so will he do, for the man doth fear God. However, it seems not in him by some large jests he will make. Well, I am sorry for your niece. Shall we go seek Benedict and tell him of our love? And Claudio's like, never tell him, my lord. He will wear it out with good counsel. She will wear it out with good counsel. That's what I meant to say. Wow, I'm like completely screwing up the lines here. Let me back up a little bit. Never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel. Nay, that's impossible. She may wear her heart out first, is what Leonardo says. And then Pedro says, well, we will hear further of it by your daughter. Let it cool the while. I love Benedict well, and I could wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy of such a good lady. And Leonardo's like, they're all three of them figure they've hammed it up enough, so that Leonardo's like, my lord, will you walk? Dinner's ready. And Claudio does an aside as they go off. If he do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation. And Pedro's like, let there be the same net spread for her, and that must your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. The sport will be when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage, and no such matter. That's the scene that I would see, which will be merely a dumb show. Let us send her to call him into dinner. And they leave, and Benedict starts thinking out loud, going, this can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They have the truth of this from Hero. They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me? It must be requited. I hear how I'm censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she will rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear their detractions, and can put them to mending. They say that the lady is fair, 'tis a truth. I can bear them witness, and virtuous, 'tis so. I cannot reprove it, and wise but for loving me. But by my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her. I may chance have some odd quirks and remnants of wit broken on me, because I have railed so long against marriage. But doth not the appetite alter? A man loves the meat in his youth that he cannot endure in his old age. I added the word old in there. Cannot endure in his age. Shall quips and sentences and these paper billets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humor? No, the world must be peopled. Guess that's one way to think of it. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I should live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day she's a fair lady. I do spy some marks of love in her. So Beatrice enters and says, against my will, I am sent to bid you come in to dinner. And now I need to switch the page over. And Benedict is completely smitten. He's like, fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains. Oh, this reminds me of the Midsummer Night's Dream thing with like the call you me fair thing. Yeah, anyway, Benedict is smitten and he's like, fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains. And Beatrice is like, I took no more pains than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come. And Benedict is like, you take pleasure then in the message? And Beatrice is like, yea, so much as you would take upon a knife's point, and choke and draw withal. You have no stomach, signor? Fare you well. And Beatrice leaves, and Benedict is like, against my will, I am bid you come in to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much to say, any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not pity her, I am a villain. I will go get her picture. Then we move on to Act 3, Scene 1, and we find Hero, Margaret, and Ursula setting up the equivalent of the equivalent of Beatrice's side of this whole trap thing. So Hero says, good Margaret, run thee to the parlor. There shalt thou find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the Prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear, tell her that I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheard us, and bid her steal into the pleached bower where honeysuckles ripened by the sun forbid the sun to enter. Lank favorites, made proud by princes that advance their pride against that power that breed it. There will she hide her to listen to our purpose. This is thy office, bear thee well in it, and leave us alone. And Margaret says, I will make her come, I warrant you presently. And Hero says to Ursula, now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, and we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedict. And when I do name him, let it be thy part to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedict is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice like a lapwing runs, close by the ground to hear our conference. The pleasant angling to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream, and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So angle we for Beatrice, who even now is couched in the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue. Fear you not my part of the dialogue. Okay. So Hero's like, then we near her that, then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the false bait that we lay for it. No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock. And Ursula's like, but are you sure that Benedict loves Beatrice so entirely? And page turn. Hero says, so says the prince and my new trothed lord. And Ursula's like, and did they bid you tell her of it, madam? And Hero's like, they did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedict, to wish him wrestle with affection and never let Beatrice know of it. And Ursula's like, why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full of as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon? And Hero's like, O God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man. But nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice. Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared. And Ursula's like, sure, I think so, and therefore certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport of it. And Hero's like, why, you speak truth. I never saw a man how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If tall, she would swear the gentleman be a lance ill-headed. If low, an agate, very vilely cut. If speaking, why, a vein blown with all winds. If silent, why, a block moved with none. so turns she every man the wrong side out, and never gives to truth and virtue that which simpleness and merit purchaseth. And that's the end of this row. So I will see you guys on the next episode. Bye-bye for now.